UFC 314 finished up. I don't know when this video is going to be coming out because I'm putting it after the matchmaking video. I'm trying something new instead of doing it first. So yeah, let's just ignore the injury completely. We're going to be breaking down every single fight on the card and recapping what went on inside that fight. These are the fights. Obviously, we had a prediction rate of 63% going into this and a 100% prediction rate on the card because we haven't even covered a single fight on the card yet. Anyway, first one on the card, Nora Kalina versus Haley Cowan. I said Colina will get it done by decision. I just think she submitted her. Yeah, why did I say this is... Oh, dear, this is the first mistake in the video already. Got a submission in round number 2. Was it a rear naked choke? It didn't... From my angle, you know, like how you usually look at rear naked chokers and go, shit, man, that's cutting off the blood circulation. She's done. It didn't really look like that. It looked like... It kind of looked like she was squeezing, but there wasn't really anything there. Maybe I'm bugging. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But first round didn't get any damage or pass through to half guard at all. It was a Corin round. I think she was the one I'm on about, but she didn't really do anything. So you know what can we really say? Going to round number 2, she gets submitted. You know, unlucky. It happens to the best of us. I'm not going to cover this fight much more because it was one of the worst fights on the card, and because this card was great. So moving on, Gore versus Tulio. I said Tulio would get around 1 KO. He got around 2 KO. We'll move, but he looked very good on the feet. I mean, Gore looked like a punching bag in this fight. Obviously, there was some punching bags on the card, and we'll talk about Elkins and Arosa in a bit, but Gore was just getting beaten up for the entire fight, and he would get knocked down. He would do decent head movement on the bottom, and then he would just get knocked. So the fight would carry on. He would do decent enough head movement where it's like, okay, you haven't taken enough big shots to where we can actually physically stop the fight. So we'll just let you back up to your feet. And then then Tulio would put him down again, and then the referee would call it because, well, Gore took 100 and something significant strikes consecutively without return. Not consecutively, but you know what I'm trying to say. He took 100 something significant strikes in round number 2. Insane. Tulio looked very good though. Yeah, it looked very good. Looks like a proper contender. Interested to see what he can do in the future. Sumadaji versus Mitch Raposo. Now, I said Sumadaji by decision. He got the decision. This fight was... Sumadachi clearly won this fight, and I'll go as far to say he won the fight 3-0. Now, I didn't see a decent amount in the first round. I don't know why. I think I missed the first 30 seconds because I went to the toilet, I think, which is very dumb of me for missing the first 30 seconds of a fight because I went to the toilet despite having a 10-minute break in between. You can drill into me all you want. I saw Raposo like to explode forwards a lot. The significant strikes at the end of round 1 was 10-3. So, Sumadachi's clearly winning. Mitch Raposo would explode forward once and land some decent strikes, and that's it. And Sumadachi would just do better for the rest of the round. So, we move into round number 2. I mean, I gave that one Sumadachi. You could give that one Raposo. All 3 judges gave that one to Raposo. And then we're going to round 2 and round 3. Raposo cannot get past Sumadachi's range. He's getting outboxed. He's getting outkicked. He's getting outstriked. Raposo starts landing takedowns in round number 3. And that's suddenly enough for him to win the fight, apparently, according to him and one of the judges. That's not how we score MMA. We don't score. You can't land 2 or 3 takedowns where you land no control time, no damage, and you just get the guy down to the ground for a second, and Sumadachi gets back up. He averaged 8 seconds on the ground, 8 seconds of control per takedown. That's awful. And I mean, you can't. 0-2. If you can, come on, that was terrible. Go back to the regional scene, motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's sad to say, but you're 0-2 in the UFC now, and you just couldn't get past the guy's reach. So, if you can't get past a lengthy guy's reach at flyweight, you're not going to pass any of the fraud check-ins you need to go up to the higher rankings in the division. You're not going to get past Charles Johnson at bloody rank 15. So, that's unfortunate for Mitch Raposo, but it's just the truth. Next up, Dumas, I'm not going to call him Domas because I did that last time, versus Michael Olichkiewicz. We're going to call him Michael because I'm too tired to butcher that name. I said round 1 KO for Olichkiewicz. He got the round 1 KO. I'm not quite sure how he did it. I just need to look at how he did it. Oh yeah, I remember he hit a right hand. It was more, no, it was a left hand. It was more of his like forearm landing. So you know, like the little bone on your forearm where you can just, yeah, that kind of landed to the side of Dumas's head or Dumas's head. DC ruined the moment for me. I had such massive problems with the commentary team throughout this entire just event. They suck. Oh my god. Rogan was pissing me off every single fight. I mean, DC was, what was DC doing? DC, I mean, obviously this is not his fault, but he came along and said, like, what was he saying? He said, Joe, these two beautiful women just passed behind me, and it's your wife and it's your daughter. First things first, DC, calm it down. I don't know how old Joe Rogan's daughter is, mate, but lay off. But and then, as he's saying that, Alitsky check lands a perfect right hand, not a perfect right hand, but like the side, a right hand on the side of Dumas's head, sending him across the octagon. And DC's there yapping about Joe Rogan's wife and daughter. So slightly ruined there by DC, but good win from Alitsky check, and it was just a TKO win, which I predicted in round number 1, which I predicted. So you know how it is. Moving on. Darren Elkins versus Julian Erosa. This was so sad to see. I'm not gonna lie, Darren Elkins was a punching bag, man. I'm not gonna spend too long covering this. I said round 2 sub for Erosa. It looks like they were both punched in slow motion. Elkins looked drunk. It was a goofy ass fight. This was horrible to watch because Elkins just had nothing for Rosa, and Rosa would just, the referee, Mike Beltran, wasn't stopping it. He was looking at Elkins getting just killed, bro. And he's like, oh, yeah, no good. Yeah, carry on. Like, come on. It's horrible. So annoying to watch. Good win for Julian Rosa, though. Moving on. Jim Miller, Chase Hooper. I said round 1 sub Hooper. Hooper had in a dangerous situation a few times. Just couldn't submit him. I guess Jim Miller's either too much of a crafty vet or Hooper's actually washed. One of the two. Hooper looked good, though. He looked good on the feet. He looked decent on the ground. He does kind of, when he throws a 1-2, stick his head right into his opponent's like chest and easy. Like, if you threw up a tomahawk elbow, I know it's a weird strike, it doesn't get thrown a lot, but not a tomahawk elbow, because that's down, isn't it? I don't know what the name is for it's like I did Muay Thai, and they had a name for it. I've forgotten the name. It's like a sumpois or something. That's French. But it's like where you throw it elbow, instead of going right, you throw it vertically going up. He could get caught with 1 or 2 of them against a competent striker. Jim Miller looked all right, I guess. I mean, Chase Hooper should have almost submitted him 2 or 3 times, if we're going to be honest here. Didn't get the submission. Jim Miller's a crafty vet. What are you going to do? All right win for Chase Hooper. Quite a boring one. He said he gooned too much during the camp. So his forearms hurt. What? You know what I mean? That's insane. That's insane. He's trying to build up that younger audience. This man talks like a complete, he doesn't sound 26. He also doesn't look 26. He looks my age. Like, no one knows how old I am. Shit, I'm not even about to release that details either. Never mind. He looks much younger than he actually is. He speaks like a 15-year-old prepubescent, but I also know I probably aren't in a good, like a strong position talking about how people speak. Moving on. Yan Xiaonan versus Yandarobo. We're going to move on swiftly from that before I get whatever. Yan Xiaonan versus Yandaroba. I said Xiaonan will get it by decision, but I also said Yandaroba could get it by submission. Yandaroba waited until the last 10 seconds of each round to actually do anything. She would work her way, working her way rounds and, trying to get little tip taps. 1 significant strike the entire fight, by the way. Pitiful. Yan Xiaonan could have won that fight if she would have landed a little bit more damage. That's all I'm going to say. 1 significant strike for Yandaroba is not damage, but in women's MMA, they don't land damage based scoring, apparently, but it doesn't really matter. Yandaroba, it would have got a submission here, and I banked on her getting a submission by, by just doing something, you know what I mean? By just doing something in the 4 minutes that she has before the 4 minutes 50 seconds she had on top of Yan Zhaonan. Now Yan Zhaonan in round number 2 managed to separate and then go straight back into a guard and put herself straight into an armbar. Now that was dumb. Just separate and go stand off, wait for the referee to stand them up, whatever. Listen, I think Jandaroba, if she goes up against Zhang Weili, she's going to get beaten. Especially if you're waiting till the last 10 seconds to even attempt an armbar. Do it earlier. Do it with like a minute left. Why are you consistently letting yourself get into a situation where you can only hit the armbar when there's insufficient time left in the round to actually get one? Dumb. Anyway, moving on. Oh my god, this one's horrible as well. This is where the cards started to get a little bit annoying. Sean Woodson versus Danny Ige. Now, obviously, we got Sean Woodson. We got a bunch of jokes. It was very funny. Sean Woodson looks like a skinwalker. My brother, he is closer to, I don't think he's even human. That being said, he's a good fighter. And I don't know how all 3 judges had him down 2-0 on the scorecards, but apparently they did. Then the referee wearing his on clouds. I'm pretty sure it's the referee wearing his on clouds. Ige rocks Sean Woodson. He starts wobbling back. He moves back towards the edge of the cage. He shoots in for a takedown. Sloppy ass takedown. Danny Ige hits him with about 10 to 20 they are significant strikes, but they're not fight-ending strikes with ground and pound. As Sean Woodson wants to separate and he gets back up to his feet, he is fine. He's not phased at all. He is fine. He's got his weird alien brain, which, we're not going to talk about too much. Look at his head. He separates, and as he's trying to come back up to his feet, he's completely fine. The referee stops the fight. We're watching, I think, what is this stoppage? Woodson is there, fully able to communicate to the referee what's going on. He could probably tell him what his name was, where the venue is. He's not going to say it's somewhere in the desert like Johnny Walker would. And the referee stops it, and he sat there shouting at Woodson, saying, "No, you out. No, you out." He's trying to, and to be fair, if you were a referee, you do not want to make that bad of a mistake because that was an awful stoppage. And especially compared to the Mike Beltran one where, Elkins is getting punched around like a pillow and Woodson's out here, takes a little bit of punishment and the fight's over. You know what I mean? But I mean, what was that? It was an awful stoppage, and I'm annoyed because I had Willie Woodson winning that, but it's fine. Unfortunate for Sean Willie Woodson. Moving on to the main card, Dominic Reyes, lad, he's back. Dominic Reyes is back. This entire card was a rollercoaster emotions. Next we had Bryce Mitchell getting sobbed, but Reyes. He just caught Krylov coming in. Perfect left hand on the chin. Conor McGregor-esque. He is back. Reyes is back, and I love it. How old is Reyes? How old is Dominic Reyes? Dominic Reyes, age 35. I don't care if he's 35. He could be 50. He's still back. Oh, I love this. This really made my day. Good knockout win for Reyes. Move him up the rankings. Moving on. We're not going to spend too long on that one. Bryce Mitchell versus Gene Silva. Now, if you're wondering why the prediction rate and whatever went really weird, don't question it. Now, I said Mitchell by decision. I thought Mitchell's grappling would be too much for him. It turns out Charles Jourdain might just be the best pound-for-pound grappler we have in the UFC. So, Gene Silva submits Bryce Mitchell, and to be fair, if I'm going to be honest, Bryce Mitchell did not have Silva on the ground without at least some threat of submission. He managed to work his way out of a guillotine in the first round. Fair enough to him. I mean, that guillotine was tight for that was I'm not gonna go as far to say that's an Ortega Volkanovski guillotine workout, but that was a Arman Saruki and Charles Oliveira-esque guillotine pull. So guillotine escape. Yeah, no, Mitchell was never win this fight. We knew that after round number 1. I knew Mitchell has no chance unless he submits Gene Silva, which Gene Silva's good as well. On the ground, he's not bad. Ninja choke submission. Almost broke his neck. So you gotta love Gene Silva. I mean, I'm very annoyed Bryce Mitchell lost this. I like Bryce Mitchell. As a fighter, he made this fight week so entertaining. Talking his trash talk was great. Oh my god, again? That's the second time this recorded. Or maybe it might be a different recording. I don't know. I don't quite remember. But moving on, let's ruin my flow. He made this fight week very interesting. I made the press conference massive. He did a schmitty. And he did his thing. Oh, man. This ruined the night. As soon as Reyes gets a KO, I'm bouncing up and down. I'm in my bedroom. I'm whispering because it's 3 a.m. I don't want to get a noise complaint from anyone. But and then Bryce Mitchell Mitchell comes out and gets submitted. You know what I mean? Roller coaster of emotions. Good win for Gene Silva. Moving on. Yair Rodriguez versus Pitbull. Say, go on, Pitbull. I keep butchering his name most of the time. We're not even going to bother. All right, my tongue's too fat to physically pronounce the syllables. Decision Rodriguez was my prediction. Rodriguez got a decision. It was quite clear as well. 3-0 Rodriguez. Pitbull, obviously back of the head shots. Commentary in this fight was absolutely atrocious. First things first, Rogan he's a very biased commentator because he leaves out certain bits of information, and we saw this in the Volkanovski fight as well. He leaves out certain bits of information about the other fighter, which would make you to believe, or would lead you to believe over a long enough period of time, that the other fighter is absolutely demolishing him. He did this with Adesanya. He did this with, I think, was he on that Max Holloway Volkanovski fight where everyone called it a robbery? I'm not sure, but he does this all the time. This fight, Yair gets Rodriguez down. I think Yair gets Rodriguez down. Yeah, Jesus, oh my god. Yair gets Pitbull down. I think he knocks him down. I need to check my notes. No, I think he just lands a takedown. Maybe, I don't know. But Yair lands a few back of the head shots to end the round. They were back of the head shots. They were light taps to the back of the head. Rogan's out here saying they weren't the back of the head. They weren't the back of the head, and even so, they weren't power hits to the back of the head. That's enough to mess up your equilibrium. They are illegal strikes. Like, even light taps in the clinch is enough to mess up someone's brain forever. So we got to get stricter on back of the head shots. For point one and point two, like, they were back of the head shots, and they do mess up your equilibrium. So, and then Joe Rogan goes on to just, he annoys me the rest of this fight, man. Do I have any? Yeah. So round two, better round for Pitbull. Yair still won it. Nothing really happens round two. Round three, Yair drops him and tries to land ground and pound. The way the commentary desk would have you believe is that Yair is brutalizing Pitbull on the ground and that the fight should be stopped. Out of the 40 or something significant strikes that Yair threw, I saw 6 land clean. The rest were landing to the traps of Pitbull. They were landing to the mat. They were missing completely, landing to his chest. I saw 2 elbows, 3 elbows land clean, and maybe a little bit of a hammer fist, maybe a few hammer fists land clean. Nothing of that ground and pound landing clean for it to be considered a 10-8. But the entire commentary desk would have you believe that he was, that the fight should be stopped at any moment. Really annoyed me. They've annoyed me for the entire card here. Obviously, Joe Rogan, he does his thing. You know what I mean? Who does that? He does his thing. I don't know. But it really annoyed me in this fight. Good win for Yair Rodriguez, put him against Diego Lopes. Next up, co-main event, Michael Chandler, Paddy Pimblett. I said round 2, Paddy Pimblett sub. He demolished Michael Chandler. Now, round 1, pretty close. Arguably could have gone either way. I had it going towards Pimblett because Chandler landed 2 significant strikes the entire round. Pimblett landed 20. Come on. Damage-based scoring. I know he, flipped Pimblett around a few times and, put him on his feet, on his back twice. Not even on his back. Just put him on the ground twice. But come on. Damage-based scoring, guys. Round 2, all the control was done by Chandler, all the damage was done by Pimblett. Round 2, Chandler kicks him in the balls. Now, this looked, he said it was unintentional, and yeah, you could, say I was going for a front kick to the head. It was nowhere near the head. That was straight just to the crotch. And the thing is, I would let Chandler off if he doesn't do this every single fight. if he doesn't try to blind Charles Oliveira and then make him paralyzed, you know what I mean? And grab the cage and fishhook Poirier and like blow his nose on him and poke Gaethje in the eye and then hit him directly after poke him in the eye. Back of the head shot to Poirier. He does this every fight. And he gets away with it every single fight. And it annoys me. I've made videos on how this man is very dirty. And I didn't even use all the pieces of information. And that video is still 20 minutes long. Every single fight he does this. And he gets away with it. And people still say, oh, you know, Chandler, he's a real stand-up guy. He cheats every single fight. Every single one. Did I mention every single fight he cheats? And he's kicked Pimlet straight to the balls, mate. Nowhere near a front kick. It's not even like it was a teep either, where you have to like lift your leg up over and then you like push your leg forwards. It was just a straight front kick going. There's no way that lands. Even if it lands, like even if it's meant for the body or for the head, it doesn't do any damage because of the way his foot is positioned. His foot is positioned like he's kicking a football and trying to get some knuckleball on it, with his like foot pointed down, going vertically up into Pimlet's crotch. It was an intentional ball kick. I don't even care what he says. He do, yeah, he do. Oh my god. Pimlet lands better shots on the feet though. Pimlet round. I don't care. Pimlet round. That's really got me riled up for the rest of this day, for the rest of the day and the rest of the recording. We go into round number 3. He gets caught with a big knee, and Chandler does Chandler's thing. He was doing this the entire fight, does this every single fight. As soon as he gets caught with anything, he just runs away. My man is a D1 track athlete and sprints around the entire cage for the rest of the fight. He literally, Pimlet lands a big knee, Chandler's on his bike. He's gone. Okay? Chandler is running away while Pimlet's trying to chase him. He's throwing fly kicks. He's looking like a, you know, Kung Fu Kid out there. I mean, that's Song Yudong, but you know what I mean. He's looking like he's running away from him. And then obviously Pimlet then gets him down and just bashes his face on the ground, which made me very happy because of how much Chandler just cheats against everyone and almost tried to kill Charles in the cage live on pay-per-view. Yeah, big win for Paddy Pimlet. No one's ever done that to Michael Chandler, but he is also, 5-2. So we'll move. Moving on. Alexander Volkanovski. This video is starting to drag a little bit. Versus Diego Lopes. I said Lopes will get it done in round number 2. You almost did. A little bit longer in round number 2. Probably would have got it done. He put Volkanovski down. Would he have got it done actually? I don't know. But he put him down in round number 2. But this was a Volkanovski of old fight. You know what I mean? Volkanovski came out there. Full camp Volk is different. He wobbles Lopes a bit. Lopes has got a chin on him. Absorbed every single strike Volkanovski threw at him. It's not like he was throwing no power strikes. They were throwing a similar amount of power strikes. It's just all Lopes was throwing was power strikes. And Volkanovski was still throwing some power strikes. And Lopes just ate them all. So, in my opinion, 4-1 Volk. Maybe even 5-0 Volk. But the commentary on this one was awful again. I mean, Joe Rogan, anytime there was an exchange at all, Volkanovski would land a left hook to the chin. Lopes would land an uppercut that stings Volk. Rogan would exclusively talk about Volk and ignore Lopes as if he did anything. We needed John Anik to intervene 4 or 5 times to try and fill in the details for the fans watching at home that Lopes was actually doing something in this fight. So, listen, I listened to a bit of the commentary and I also took my headphones out a few times because it was pissing me off. I scored it 5-0 Volk initially, but I mean, now I'm thinking about it, you can probably give round 2 to Lopes. But that being said, Lopes got rocked in round 2 and got outstruck. Like, maybe I'm bugging, but I think Volkanovski landed the same amount of power strikes as Lopes, just all Lopes landed was power strikes. So, I don't know. I think Volkanovski clearly won this fight, though. If not, like 4-1, if not 5-0. So 5-0, 5-0. Back to the prelims you go. No, we're not sending him back to the prelims. It's too entertaining to be on the prelims. Good win there for Volkanovski. Round 2 and round 4 were close. Round 5 was a clear Volk win. Round 1 was a clear Volk win. Round 3 was a clear Volk win. So, very good for Volk. In terms of where this card stacks up, 6th place. This is the 25-minute video. I'm stopping it before the 25 mark. Hopefully you did enjoy. Let me know what you thought of the card in the comments below. And if you made it to this point, you're a fucking legend. See you in the next one. Goodbye.